This man seems like an ordinary person, but no one knows that he is the head of a large corporation. He wears ordinary clothes and drives an old, cheap car. That is why he calls himself a secret investor. He has his own reason for doing this. On the other hand, this woman's name is Lola. She works very hard and is a manager at a wine company in Los Angeles. On her left is Hamish, Lola's friend. He thinks she should go to Sydney and make a deal with a well-known wine seller named Hazel Vaughn. He also says that Vaughn Wines does not have someone to bring their products into the United States. Hamish was planning to use all his restaurants if she could make the deal happen. The next day, she was excited to go to Sydney. In the office, she talks with her coworker for a bit until her mean boss walks in. He compliments her work and says it's better than anyone else's in the office. Before leaving, he reminds her about her next task. She tells her friend about Vaughn Wines when her friend wants to know. That same night, she goes to her father's house for dinner. This is her father, named Carlos. John and Diana are his friends. They start asking her about her love life, and she shares that she got divorced 2 years ago. After dinner, Carlos tells her that she should start dating again, since she stopped looking for love after her breakup with Tyler, her ex. The next day, when Lola arrives at the office, she sees her coworker giving a talk about Vaughn Wines. Lola is surprised, and it gets worse when the boss picks Audra to go to Sydney with him. He might even promote her if she makes the deal. When he answered a call and left the meeting, she told him that she had informed Audra about the Vaughn Wines and that she should be the one going to Sydney. He didn't pay attention to her. He left her and entered the meeting hall. Inside the meeting room, she expressed that she was fed up with all the unfairness and selfish behavior from his boss, so she decided to quit her job for good. Lola has chosen to start her own business called Salad Imports. Lola wants a big client to help her business grow, and she thinks the Vaughn family could help her with that. She finds out that Vaughn Wines has a cottage for guests, so her idea is to stay there and look for the right time to talk to Hazel about her company. Even though her dad thought it was a long way, he still encouraged and helped her with her idea right after. Soon after, Lola arrives in Sydney at the Vaughn wine owner's farm. When she gets there, a man tries to help her, but ends up dropping her heavy bag and leaves with the taxi. As Max walks in through the door, he sees a woman looking around the house. He jokes and asks her if she's trying to find the code for the safe. He wanted to show her the small house. Max told her to take selfies in the cottage or do anything she wanted, but not to disturb Hazel Vaughn. One of their workers steps in and says that the man who left with the taxi used to work on the farm, but he couldn't handle the pressure. As soon as she spots the woman named Hazel Vaughn, she starts talking about her new company. Hazel wasn't happy and told her that she wasted her trip if this was the reason. When their worker quit, Lola heard about it and asked if she could take the job instead. After thinking it over for a bit, she finally gets a chance to work. Max was responsible for teaching her everything she needed to know about the rules and her tasks. Lola was about to start doing tough work, hard jobs, and chores. Before he starts fixing the fence, he tells her about the kangaroos because he heard she was excited to see them. He warns her that they might hit her and knock her down. The truck breaks down in the middle. Max couldn't believe she didn't have a hat or shoes for the land, so he gave her his own hat. Max warned her not to get her hopes up about the contact. Then we see her in a cottage where she meets 3 students. Suddenly, they hear someone yelling. She explains that she used all the hot water in the shower after using her charger, which caused a problem with the system. In the morning, her friends in the cottage invite her to sit with them, but she doesn't realize they are joking. Then, Max comes and asks her if she is ready. We can see him explain how to bend the metal wire to her. She began her job and saw a sheep. She tried to feed it, but she wasn't very good at it. Lola also couldn't separate the red-tagged sheep from the others. Later, she sees Hazel and starts complimenting her on her nice boots. She also asks if Hazel wants her to bring some bottles, but Hazel isn't interested. She left. Then Lola went to Max and was talking about work. Suddenly, Max picks her up because there was a brown snake nearby. After a quiet moment, she cleans the toilet. The next morning, she wakes up and gets ready for work. At work, she does a silly thing that makes Hazel really mad. She didn't have many options, so she started getting ready to leave Sydney. She asked Max to take her to the airport, and they got into his old truck. The truck starts acting strange again and stops in the middle of the road. They started to return because they had no choice. They both start walking, and she says that Australia might not like her. But Max sees it differently and shares some encouraging words. Lola talks about her dad, Carlos, who has always been her role model and inspiration. She explains how he influenced her to work at a big company where she used to be employed. At night, she gets up and reads a book about Hazel Vaughn's family history, and it makes her smile. The next morning, Lola solved the hot water problem that the students had, making them very happy. They welcomed her into their team and gave her new shoes and clothes as a gift. At breakfast, she tells Max that she was planning to stay. She shares with him the book she read last night that inspired her. He also gives her a cowboy hat, and Lola is surprised because he thought she would stay. In Los Angeles, at her office, Audra was feeling overwhelmed by what her boss wanted from her. On the other hand, we see Lola quietly watching Max while he works. Later, in the evening, when everyone is together, Max starts playing his guitar, and Lola joins in to sing. Everyone was delighted by her beautiful voice and loved every moment of it. It was a very nice moment for everyone, and they began to sing the song with her. The next morning, she had breakfast with Henry, who told her that he liked having her around while he worked. It was all about balancing work and personal life. Max tells her that he just got promoted. He noticed that she and the old sheep have a special connection, but he explained that the sheep would be dinner next Sunday. She promised the sheep that she would protect it. She began to get along nicely with her roommates and liked working with them. Audra finds out that Lola is in Australia. At night, Lola tells her friends about her ex-boyfriend and their relationship. She goes outside and sees Max sitting by Hazel's pool, ready to swim. He challenges her to jump into the pool and she says yes. They are smiling at each other and looking into each other's eyes. Suddenly, Hazel appears and smiles when she sees them. The next morning was time to ride bikes, but Max wasn't sure about Lola. However, she amazed him by showing how well she can ride. He was surprised and called her an expert. Then they went by motorbike to a beautiful place. Max shares his story, explaining how he used to be angry and cause trouble, but then he learned that his mother had cancer. Max was hanging out in town more than he was at home in bed. Eventually, he noticed and tried to be a better person, but by then it was too late. Lola tells Max she doesn't want the sheep to go away. They soon arrive at a pretty place with a waterfall. Meanwhile, in the office, Audra's boss gives her some directions because he found out where Lola is. Later, Lola's cottage mate asked her to have a drink, and they started dancing and having a great time. The atmosphere was better than ever, and it felt amazing. They also started playing a risky game with an older man. On the other hand, we find out that Hazel is Max's sister. She wants him to see the world and not just stay in Australia. Max enjoys being here, but she talks about how she saw him and Lola in the pool. He has a good opinion of her, and she smiles in response. Hazel asks Max if he was going to share his feelings with Lola, but he says he hasn't told anyone anything. While in the bar, the middle-aged man was writing down his score when a fight started outside. The fight continued for a minute until Lola whistled, and the bar owner stopped everyone. Later, he was telling Max how they were making his life difficult, but Max gave him the money to help fix the problems. While Lola was drunk, she asked Max what he thought of her. He slowly sat down next to her. She asks if she was happy, and he replies that he has something to share with her. Since she was so drunk, he stayed quiet and helped her leave. The next morning, Max sat down with her at breakfast. She felt embarrassed about what happened the night before, but Max thought it was okay. He invites her to go camping that night, and she gets her things ready. They visit the Vaughn family factory, where she tries their wine. A worker suggests opening a fancy wine that costs about $200, but she says no. She still doesn't know that Max is Hazel Vaughn's brother and mostly owns the entire company. For some reason, he is unsure about telling her the truth. Later, Max talks to Lola when she mentions that she feels lonely. He starts to talk about how being alone was his reason for staying safe and avoiding love. They see a small kangaroo. When she took out her phone to take a picture, Max smiled at the photo she had saved on her phone. It's the perfect moment because she was drawing and comes up with a new idea to share with Hazel about her company. She says that his mom, Hazel's mom, Sabella, is someone who inspires her. Max was about to say something about his mom, but she started talking instead. Then we see a scene where they share a romantic moment. In the morning, he says that his name is Max Vaughn. After he spoke, she became confused. He promised her that he is a quiet investor and that no one knows who he really is. Besides Hazel and now her, Lola gets really mad at him and stays unhappy. When they get back, she sees her old boss, who returned to offer her a job at his company, Mithens, and even wants to give her a better position. But she says she won't return to work and tells Hazel good luck. Hazel talks to Max about how he shared his truth too late. Her coworker speaks to Lola and apologized for what she had done. Lola walks and sees her favorite old sheep and says goodbye. In her little house, all her friends are enjoying some newly stolen wine. Lola also returns their things. She sees Max before going to America. They have a short, emotional conversation where Max lets her leave. After several months, Lola has finally organized her office. Her friend tells her that Mithens, her old company, and the Vaughn family are no longer working together. She wonders if she even tried to call Max, but she didn't. A few days later, during the wine promotion, Max unexpectedly appears. He admits that his old sheep was missing her in Australia, but honestly says that he made a mistake by letting her go. We can see everyone having a great time at a wedding in the end. The movie ends here. Please, my family, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.